In this upload, we'll be going over the Hunter's Fury gear set. If you find value in these uploads, please be sure to like and comment down below how I can improve in quality and any concerns you have about the build itself. Now, starting out, we have the Gunner Specialist with the minigun as the weapon. When researching this build, max it out. For the weapons, research Tier 3 rifle, shotgun, and pistol. Be sure to research Incessant for 10% armor on kill, and Coupler for the third reload being 50% faster, as well as Banshee Pulse. Now the cores go as follows. We have 3 damage, 3 armor, and 2 skill, with our armor being a little below average at 1.3 million, and our health being at 333,000. Our first skill is the Fixer Drone. This is optional. This repairs a small amount of your armor, and you should keep this active while in combat. Our second skill is the Banshee Pulse. This disorients the enemies. It confuses them. Now for some of our key pieces, we have the Electric Chest with Obliterate Talent. This is, again, optional. And the exotic Memento for our backpack. Now let's get into weapons. Our primary is the M16A2. This is optional. You could use any rifle, so this piece is optional here. With the Steady Hand Talent, the benefit of this is it is accurate. It has high damage and weapon handling. A quite balanced damage drop off, so you won't have much of an issue targeting enemies at longer range. And it gives you a mid to long range advantage. For the optics, I am using 5% crit chance. For the magazine, I have 10% crit damage. And the muzzle, I have 5% crit chance. For the secondary, we are going with the Scorpio. Again, I don't really like using the Scorpio as it is overused, but in this build, it works well. The talent is Septic Shock, and the benefits of using this weapon is it has high damage, it grants you status effects, and it's good at crowd control. It excels at crowd control, actually. For the sidearm, I'm using the D50. This is optional with the Finisher Talent. This grants you high damage and a 30% increase in crit when swapping after a kill. For the optics, I'm using the 5% headshot, minus 20 optimal. Now let's get into armor regeneration and armor on kill. At max stacks with the Memento, you're getting 39,000 armor regen per second. That is equal to 3%. The Fixer Drone grants you 29,000 armor regen per second. Now the total of both of these together grants you 68,000 armor regen per second. Again, this isn't a lot, and it's not meant to be a lot. Now the total with my attributes is 77,850 armor regen per second. Again, still not a lot, but it is average for what you're working with. Your armor on kill from the Hunter's Fury grants you 20% armor on kill. With Tier 3 Incessant, you get an extra 10% armor on kill, totaling at 30. So you're using your armor regen and armor on kill together. And remember, your Fixer Drone is always active, and as long as you're performing well, you don't get down or deceased, your build will continue to get better and perform better as the match goes on, especially in the open world. Now let's get into the notes. This build is unique in the way you want to play and run it. You want to play from mid to long range and stack Obliterate early on for the 25% increase in weapon damage, as it is much easier to stack Obliterate than it is Apex Predator. Now from Apex Predator, enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff amplifying your weapon damage against them by 20%. Killing that enemy grants you 5% increase in weapon damage up to 25%. But that's equal to Obliterate, which is why we're using Obliterate and not focusing on stacking that. It'll be much easier for you to stack Obliterate than it would be for you to stack the Apex Predator. Hence why you would stack Obliterate first. Although you do an increased damage at close range from the 20% debuff, if not careful, you can be easily overwhelmed or flanked. So I suggest using Scorpio for the Septic Shock talent for, let's say, 1 to 2 enemies that are trying to flank or rush you. Then use Banshee Pulse if you're trying to get the kill to disorient the enemies after the shock effect wears off. And this will buy you time regardless of if you're trying to get the kill or reposition away from the enemy. It works in both of these scenarios, knowing that you're only working with 1.3 million armor plus any bonus armor you get from the Memento. Now the M16 at close to mid-range does 3 million damage per second with Obliterate at max stacks. With or without the debuff active, you will be doing on average 3 million or more damage. This weapon and why it is so unique is it can target snipers and enemy weak points with steady hand at 40 plus stacks. It could really do it at 25 plus stacks, but at 40 is where it excels, and you're basically almost maxed out with your weapon handling. Now, Apex Predator should be used strategically with this build. There are many factors, enemy explosive, rushers, warhounds, that may call for you to play at range to minimize the chances of you being downed. Now, given if you play up close, yes, you're maximizing on the Apex Predator itself, but it leaves you vulnerable. You're not versatile. Not in every situation, in every scenario. The Capitol building, Tidal Basin, Roosevelt Island, you will not always be close to the enemy, and they will not always allow you to get close. So to balance out your build, you will want to be able to do damage at longer ranges, because they're going to exploit your weakness, and that is your weakness. You don't get a debuff being further away than 15 meters. Now, weapon damage with Memento, Apex Predator, and Obliterate at max will be around 7 to 9 million damage for both your weapons. Now, although this is the case, you more times than not won't be doing this much damage because of how difficult it is to stack Apex Predator. Now, if you're on the roll, you can, but in most scenarios, you won't be doing this much damage. But if you are, you can drop enemies in 3 shots with the Scorpio and burst firing with the M16. So if you're on a roll and you have max stacks with everything, you are doing 7 to 9 million damage. But the chances of you getting max stacks with Apex Predator is low due to the enemy variety and it being situational. But yes, if you find yourself on a 1 to 2 kill streak within a 10-second period with the Memento and Obliterate at max, it is safer to play aggressive than if you don't have any. So yes, get that 1 kill or 2 kills, and you could play more aggressive as you gain those stacks. And remember, every kill you get armor on kill, and you have 77,000 armor regeneration. So just performing in a way where you're focusing on these factors will increase your performance. Keep in mind, damage output varies based on expertise, SHD level, and attributes. Although this would usually be where I wrap the video up, I wanted to go over a few comments I had in the Heartbreaker upload I did last week. Someone asked me about skill and why invest in skill. You want to be versatile. That is the base of a lot of my builds. Versatility. You never know what situation you may be in or what enemy you may not be able to just advance and attack. A drone pilot will not allow you to attack them, and a lot of times they won't even peek out of cover unless they know they can target you. Same with throwers, the grenade launchers. Same with warhounds. A lot of warhounds will rush you when they know they can. A lot of rushers will rush you when they know they can. The enemy will definitely play on your weakness. So you want to strengthen your weakness to at least ensure that it is performing to the best of your ability. So if you're doing well in every other avenue, you can invest in skills tier to give you that edge. And again, this is relative to that build. Not every build tells you to invest in skill. Like this one, I only have 2 skill tier, and the rest is invested in weapon damage and armor. But even this is relative. The second comment was about my attributes. You are correct, and that is why I don't go over attributes in my videos, because it is relative to the player, and it takes a little bit more fine-tuning and time to acquire the pieces, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, if you found this video helpful, please be sure to like, comment, and sub for more uploads. And I will see you on the next one.